Alright, wano ku PJ Facts olunaku olwaleero nkuleetedde bannamagye bano babiri Mpajiruwaga abeesowoddeyo okulamuza ekifo ky'omubaka wa Paalamenti mu bitundu mwe basibuka nga ku bano kuliko Brigadier General Retired Dr. Charles Kisembo ng'onagamba abantu b'e Kibale County mu bitundu by'e Kamwenge District yazze okubanaazaako ennaku. Onagamba mumulabiranga ddala mu kalulu kabonako mwaka 2026 nga yagenda okwatusiza ebirowoozo byammwe eri omukulembeze w'eggwanga oba eri mu lukiiko olwa Paalamenti. So mumulabiranga ddala agamba zze n'endowooza n'ebirowoozo birungi byereere nga mmwe eddagala mu malwaliro mugenda kufuna enguudo za kugaziibwa kwegamba ebintu bingi nnyo byagenda okuba nga abakolera abantu ba Ekibale County. Amasannyalaze mugenda kuba mugoota misana na kiro. Mwami Brigadier General Retired Dr. Charles Kisembo abantu b'Ekibale abagamba yeyekka asobola tofa ku kyamyaka wabula fa ku busobozi bw'omuntu. So Brigadier munnamagye oyo Brigadier General azze okulabika nga abantu b'Ekibale abanaazaako ennaku. So abantu b'e Kamwenge bwe mutuukanga okulonda mumulabiranga ddala. Obwokubiri ye Brigadier General Retired Emmanuel Rashande. Munaawulira oyo naze kusisiigulayo muna NRM Honorable Theodore Sekikubo. So abantu olw'emiyaga Sembabule constituency eyo mumulabiranga ddala tefa ku kyamyaka wawula fa ku busobozi. Ono n'agamba agenda kulwanyisa ekibbattaka ekibadde kikutta akati mu bitundu eyo. Agamba mwami Theodore Sekikubo talina kyakoledde bantu beeyo okuggyako okuleeta enkaayana ku ttaka, okuggyako okuleetawo enjawukana mu bantu. Nga ye agamba yagenda kutandikira awo agenda banaazaako ennaku mu nsonga z'ebyettaka nga mwenna mugenda kuba nga mweyagalira mu bibanja byammwe. Amasannyalaze mugenda nammwe goota misana na kiro. Enguudo wakulabika nga azikola agenda kuba atuukira ddala ku muntu wa wansi okulabika nga ebirowoozo byammwe abitwala mu lukiiko lwa Paalamenti abateeseze abakiikirire era nga muntu wammwe. Yetandise naddala kakuyege okulabika nga abantu b'omu kitundu ekyo ebirowoozo byammwe abitwala eri mu lukiiko lwa Paalamenti okulabika nga ensonga zammwe zikolwako. Yatandise dda okukuŋŋanya ebirowoozo byammwe mubadde nga mumulaba ku ground kwali Brigadier General Emmanuel Rashande. Amaanyi galeese muganda wange go gankizomu yakawumula amagye buli woofiisi gy'abadde akoleramu abadde nga musajja mukozi nnyo nga promotion abantu baabamwetolodde baba basanyufu kwegamba azze okuweereza omuntu owa bulijjo n'omutima gumu. Bannamagye bano bangi bazenga bavumibwa obutanyigira mu byabufuzi nga bali mu active politics. Kati bano betwogerako these are retired generals, these are retired army officers. Bazze okulabika nga abantu mu bitundu gye bava nabo babaako ettofaayi lyebabateekako nga libadde batadde ku ggwanga okutwaliza wamu kubanga obeera osavinga amagye oba osavinga ggwanga n'amawanga amalala. So bano ababiri bagamba bazze okulabika nga banaaza ennaku ebadde eruma abantu baabwe okulabika nga bakyusa n'endowooza z'abantu baabwe nti buli kimu kisoboka. Ensonga y'obwavu mwami Brigadier General Charles Retired Dr. Kisembo yagamba agenda kubanga agikolako bulungi nnyo nga enkola programu za gavumenti zeyateekawo okulabika nga abantu mukulaakulana agenda okulabika nga buli omu aziganyulwamu. Kyekimu ne Brigadier General Retired Emmanuel Rashande abantu b'emiyaga abagamba temugenda kuddamu kukaaba temugenda kuddamu kukaaba twawange entulege. Agenda kubanga abanaazaako ennaku essaawa yonna. So wano ku PJ Facts bannamagye baneeno tubaagaliza kisima era tubaagaliza kisingawo. Tujja kubanga tubawa emboozi ezo amawulire agafa ku bantu baffe bano ababiri yonna gye bana batambulidde ne bannamagye abalala bana bawumudde nga baagala okuyingira politics. Tujja kubanga tubakuwanjulira wano ku
I want to take this opportunity to welcome you, Defence Press Unit, to my office, and it's a privilege to work with you. My name is Brigadier General Charles Kisembo, Doctor. For those that don't know me, but I'm sure you all know me. Currently, I'm working as the Director, National Leadership Institute, Jankwanzi. I want to talk about myself. I joined the army, the National Resistance Army, in 1985. I was a young man then, that time, and an undergraduate at Makerere University. I really never had any idea, any slightest idea of joining the army. I hated the army personally because I grew seeing what the previous armies were doing, especially Idi Amin's army, you know, very brutal, coercive, state terror. So I really hated the army. But that is the question everybody asks, how I found my way in the army. And I think I will talk about it briefly. I do recall in 1979 when the Tanzanians invaded Uganda. Some of us were young people. By that time I was a teacher. I was teaching in a primary. And because of the nature of politics that we had experienced in this country, politics of tribes, politics of religion, sectarianism, and state-inspired violence. So some of us wanted a new brand of politics, especially after Amin was removed from power. And when Yoweri Museveni then formed the Uganda Patriotic Movement, we thought that was the party that would change Uganda's political trajectory. And so we became activists in UPM because we wanted clean leadership, we wanted unity, we wanted to see the end to sectarianism and all that kind of politics. So my decision to join the National Resistance Army in 1985 was not a result of a single event. It was a result of the many events that characterized Uganda's political history. But what sparked the decision in 1985 was when the UNLA soldiers invaded Makerere University. They invaded Makerere University and attacked Africa Hall. They raped some of the girls, beat the others up, and of course forced some of the girls to jump from second floor, breaking their limbs, and others finally ended in Mulago. So as the girls were being beaten, they were calling upon us. You know, Northcote Hall, where I was closer to Africa Hall. So they were calling us, Northcote, come and help us. We were so helpless. We didn't have guns, and so there's nothing we could do. So I remember 17 of us ran through the small gate, the eastern gate, and went on Makerere Primary School Hill. So we sat and compared notes. And we said, really, what do we go to do to Makerere? We found there was nothing that we could go to do there in such a situation. And previously, we had lost some of our colleagues. In Northcote, we lost one called Munsha. They came and picked him, and then after a few days, his body was found in Mavira Forest. So we found it was unsafe for us to remain in the corridors of Makerere University. So we went and joined the NRA. We were 17, I do remember. But when we returned in 1986, after the collapse of the Obote regime, we were 11. The 6 did not come back. And I recall, those I can remember now who are alive, there is Lieutenant General James Mujira, there is a Brigadier General Karemire Richard. Then there is Kairu Deus, left the army, but is still alive. And then there is a Colonel retired, Bainomjisha Sam. Those I can remember, but others, of course, are not with us. So that is how we found our way in the National Resistance Army, which is now, of course, Uganda People's Defense Forces. I have served the military institution for 39 years, and I have learned a lot. I have acquired a lot of experience, immense experience, in my 39 years of service. I don't regret serving the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the mighty UPDF, And I think anyone would be interested in knowing why the UPDF is the longest serving military institution in the history of Uganda. I think serious scholars or students of military history should be interested in studying and finding out what has made the UPDF what it is, what values do we pick from the UPDF, what ethos do we pick from the UPDF, why is it the longest serving military institution in the history of Uganda. My experience in the UPDF has been a very interesting experience. And I had no slight idea about what I would expect when I joined the National Resistance Army. And of course, you know the pomp that goes with undergraduates. When we joined the NRA, we thought they would just welcome us with open hands, and we found young boys who were not really educated. You know, they had modest education. Most of these were peasants from Luwero. So they just looked at us as intellectuals. We were in university, T-shirts, and so they drilled us, and that's not what we expected. We thought they would say, you are welcome to the NRA, but that didn't happen. So they ordered us to form watatu and started marching, and nyuma geuka, kulia geuka. It was a very interesting experience. And after this, sat us under a tree and took us through political education, India political education. The first question was why we had left the university to join the National Resistance Army. One of us was quick to shoot up his hand. He said he had come to the NRA so that he could be trained, armed to go and revenge against the Northerners who killed his uncle. Now, these young boys were not highly educated. Just looked at us in awe. They couldn't believe that an undergraduate could respond in such a way. It meant that really ideologically we were bankrupt. We were ideologically bankrupt. And these boys said, for example, they asked us a question that Rangaranga and Rwakasisi were said to have committed crimes, killed people that were they from the north, and of course we couldn't answer. So we sat down and accepted our political bankruptcy. We accepted to learn, and indeed we learned. We realized that we didn't know. And so the 39 years of service in the UPDF has made me who I am. I joined the NRA as an undergraduate. The Army provided me an opportunity for further education. After graduating my first degree, I got a master's. I also registered for a master's degree. I was the best in the history department, and I was given a master's program before I even graduated my first degree. And the Army has trained me. I was able to get another master's in Defense Studies, King's College London. I have had a lot of training in military-related areas. I've done company commander course in Tanzania. I've done advanced command course in the UK. I've done many strategic leaders courses in the US, DDR, demobilization and integration courses in Rwanda, counter-terrorism courses in Ethiopia. I have trained in Libya, trained in Cuba. So the UPDF has provided me an ample chance for me to move across the globe, to learn, to study. And I'm so proud that I'm associated with the UPDF. And I am what it is because of the UPDF. The UPDF called me professor, and I think calling me professor when I was a sergeant provided me, gave me it acted as a catalyst for me to venture into the academic world, because I didn't know that people were seeing that perhaps in me there was something unique, and therefore I really needed to bring it out. So when I proposed to a colleague that I wanted to do a PhD, he laughed. He said that I was being overly ambitious, that I didn't need to do a PhD at my age. But I don't regret doing a PhD. Even as I retire now, my PhD is being paid for. So it has increased on my on my earning, and I'm really very happy, and I want to inspire others remaining that given opportunity, people should really study. That is what I can say at an individual level. UPDF, all the children I have, I've produced them in the UPDF. Most of the children actually in the UPDF. So that's the only place they know. And for me, UPDF, that's my home. That's why I find comfort. That's why I have friends. Because you know the nature of our work, you're always engaged. Your work space is always within that. So your friends that are closer to you, those you relate with, you interact with, are in the security agencies, UPDF, SO, ISO. And so that is our home. So I'm retiring, yes, but I feel I'm losing something. I'm losing that friendship, that level of interaction. You know, I'm getting out of the house where I have grown and been nurtured. But I know it's not over. Even as we go out, we shall remain linked to our family, because we are not the code that binds us together. That denominator still remains as a member of the same family. I want to thank the UPDF. First of all, I want to thank the President of the Republic of Uganda and Commander-in-Chief of the UPDF, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tibuhaburwa, for his wise leadership and dedication to the service of our country, Uganda, and for being the key driver for the building and nurturing of the mighty UPDF. We are so thankful to His Excellency, because UPDF is an army that is looked at as an army for good because of its contribution, not only to national security, national stability and peace, but also in terms of providing security and peace outside Uganda. UPDF has worked in other parts of the country. In Somalia, you know very well. The very day we entered Somalia, there were all voices that UPDF would be swept into the Indian Ocean. But I'm telling you, UPDF is still in Somalia, and it has done a very important role in terms of enhancing defense diplomacy, contributing to Somalia's socio-economic transformation by constructing infrastructure, roads, rehabilitating dilapidated structures, enhancing civil-military relations with the people there. So Somalia has something to smile about. Our doctors have been treating civilians there. So UPDF has really achieved in that regard. We have played a role in Southern Sudan, a role in stabilizing Southern Sudan. You are all aware recently that South Sudan was almost at the brink of collapse when these factions engaged in violent confrontations. The UPDF intervened and helped stabilize the situation. And we can see there is hope. There is hope in Southern Sudan. So UPDF has played a very important role there. In Burundi, in Rwanda, we have a hand in the creation, in the dismantling of apartheid in South Africa, because we helped to train African National Congress. So you can see the extent of our involvement, not on a bad note, but on a good note. And that has been all as a result of the wise leadership and the strategic vision of the Commander-in-Chief. I'm also grateful to the UPDF leadership that gave me an opportunity to serve, to mentor, to guide me. On my own, I think I wouldn't be who I am now. I am who I am, I think, because of the leadership of the UPDF that showed us a direction, that were patient with us to build us, to make us who we are today. And to know that, yes, self-perfection individual good is a result of hard work, it's a result of sacrifice, it's a result of commitment, it's a result of do's and don'ts, and the army provides that. So that's why some of us have, in terms of discipline, we have remained really in that direction. So I'm so thankful to the UPDF leadership. We're about to retire. I'm so delighted, and I must say that on behalf of my colleagues with whom I'm retiring, I'm so excited. I thank the UPDF leadership for providing us that opportunity, that when you serve and reach a certain time, you retire. It's natural. I remember 1986, we were young men, energetic, running around, making 100 push-ups, but now, age coming in, you only admire younger people when you see them doing what you are doing those many years ago. And for us, we also knew, because we never saw previous armies retiring. When you come in our place there, you cannot see a house that belonged to so-and-so who served in the previous armies. So armies would come, governments would be swept, and then these other departments, the agencies, the government arms would also follow suit. So, but now in the UPDF, it's a different story. If you want to retire, you retire. There is even voluntary retirement. But for me, retiring after 39 years of service is an immense success, and I'm so grateful to God and the entire UPDF leadership. And this is something that I don't take for granted. I know I lost many of our colleagues who never had an opportunity to reach such a day like some of us have reached, to retire from the army honorably. And I would encourage those remaining to start looking at their retirement now. You don't have to look at your retirement to be serious, especially on the day when you are being told that you are retiring. So they should begin thinking about their retirement now, so that when you retire, you are mentally and psychologically prepared. I've seen cases where people have been told to retire and they have really taken it in bad faith. It's a good thing for us to do so that we can go and take this immense experience we have gained from the military to go and serve our people in other capacities. And for me, with this knowledge I have acquired, there are very, very many options at the table. First, I want to go and contest the Kivale County parliamentary seat, 2026, by His grace. You will meet me in another capacity. And I'm so hopeful that this time we shall make it, because the people appreciate us, they appreciate our experience, they appreciate our knowledge, and they are very sure that we shall deliver. So is there any other thing you want me to for those who are remaining behind, for heaven's sake, our brothers?
Thank you very much. How would you advise them on the
Yes.
and the message
To be who we are leaving this military institution, this mighty UPDF has generals. This is an immense achievement. And this achievement has not come just by the way. We have labored and worked for it. We labored and worked for it, commitment, dedication, patriotic, and that's why we have been able to move up in these ranks. So those who are still out there, who are young in service, and those who desire also to serve, must embrace values that will help them excel. First and foremost, love your country. Be a patriot. Love your country. Have the discipline for leadership. Have the discipline for leadership. And do your work diligently. Put in your best. Don't work because you are being paid a salary. Work because it is an obligation for you to work for your institution, to work for your country. Don't worry about ranks. I was a sergeant for 8 years. And I never knew that I would be a general. I was a captain for 7 years, but that did not come in my way. I worked because I knew I had been called to serve. I didn't join the NRA or UPDF to look for a job. I just found myself where I am because of the hard work and commitment. So continue working, don't look at the ranks, look at what you are able to deliver. Aim at excellency and put in your best. All these things you will achieve. That's the message I want to leave behind. The civilians do not fear us. I have, in many instances, civilians, I have had civilians say, better meet a UPDF soldier than meeting a police soldier. What does that mean? UPDF is a pro-people army. We were withdrawn from the public, and we are going back to the public. We are not going back as enemies. We are going back to where we belong. We belong to our homes. So we are going to join our sisters, our brothers, our neighbors, our relatives. So in the first place, why should they fear us? And all these years we have been serving, we have not been detached from them. We are there. We have homes there. That is where we are going to stay. Actually, they are very happy. That's why some of them have been enticing me into joining politics. Come and stand, come and stand. It's because if it was not that they consider me their own, they wouldn't be calling me upon to go and join the politics. And that's the message I want to give to my people out there, that let them take advantage of us. We are going amongst them with wide knowledge, with experience, how government works, and therefore we want to use this knowledge to contribute to our society's socio-economic transformation so that they can live better lives and be better Ugandans. Thank you.
Okay, my name's Brigadier General Emmanuel Rwashande. I'm the Chief of Civil Military Cooperation, UPDF. I joined the army, the Guerrilla Wolf Army, by that time in 1981. When we joined, when we were still young, we had not reached the age of 18. We were about 16, 17. When we were selected from my villages and taken to Nairobi to go and attend a course in Libya, where Libya, the president of Libya by that time, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, has given like aid to support the struggle, to support the liberation struggles in Africa. So we went at the first batch of that training, 1981, and we came back in 1983. In 1983, we tried so many times to come to join the bush. The first time we were arrested in Busia, the other side of Nairobi, and we were taken to prison, and after that they were about to hand over. But our external department, who are in Kenya, where was the former Prime Minister Amama Mbabazi, the Kakwano, Rwakakoko, the late Chirunda Chivejinja, all those, they got our information and rushed to the Vice President. By that time was Kibaki. President Kibaki was the Vice President. And in the morning when we had been put in the cell, we were looking to hear our case, and we were supposed to be handed over that time to the Obote government. So a message came from the Vice President that leave those people. They are not enemies of Kenya. They are Africans. They are running away from bad leadership. They are free to live in Kenya. Don't actually accuse them of anything. Let them come back to Nairobi. So we went to Nairobi. We tried again. We came through Lake Victoria, and we came up to Zira here. And our informers at that time who were waiting for us, the government had known about our coming, and they had deployed along the shores of Lake Victoria. But our contacts, our informers came using the small boat to inform us in the lake that these people are all over, we cannot go, please go back to Nairobi. And we were tired, the situation was bad in Nairobi, we didn't have enough food, we didn't have enough food. So we had nothing to do, we went back. So after going back, this is now taking about 3-4 days using the small canoe to go back to Nairobi. And they could, we had General Taya, who was our commander that time, who was looking after us. He could rush with a small boat, which was a bit speedier than that, which had more speed than ours, to go and get us some bread from Kisumu, from these other areas. And the bread, when the bread, you put the bread and the water touches the bread then gets, it gets spoiled immediately. So we stayed without food on an island where we were waiting for him until he brought some bread and we ate and we went back. This time we stayed for about other 3-4 months without people trying to plan. That was very like people like the Bakurumpaji, people like Njuba, who were planning for us to get the late Kiseka by that time, who were planning for us to come out. Not until they said they came here and got the IDs, the UPC IDs of local government, the chiefs and what. So we had to buy some Kaunda, white Kaunda suits with the red t-shirts inside to the spies that were like UPC use, and that's how we managed to come in. And when we came in, some people were waiting for us at the railway station here. When we came in, everybody boarded his own bus up to the border, and on the border you were boarding on your own, giving money, but you only have a password when you reach here. So people are waiting for us. And we could pronounce the password. Muruwabanange, Bagenze. When you say Bagenze, that's the man, that means that your person is that one. Then they took us somewhere in a house in Kamaragara. They waited for all of us who are 97. These Kareke Ihura, Amanya Mshega, Honorable Tom Bitume, and others. We are now remaining about 4. All those that were in that batch of Libya. I think I'm the only one now still in service who is living also today, is trying to live. So, then at night, our General Chargonza came at night and he picked us in a pickup, and we went to Namugongo. We entered the church, but when we were going, we met a roadblock at Nakawa here. And when we said, and they asked us, do you have guns? And we really had guns down. We were stepping on guns. And then he had a pistol. And they said, do you have guns? They said, no. Yeah, the Chargonza said, yes, we have guns. There are very many here. So when the man came, he just gave him money and the man went back. They know how to go about it. They knew the people they were playing with. That's why corruption is a big issue that people should deal with. So the man went, and we continued with our guns, with our vehicles. We had about 4 vehicles. We entered the church of Namugongo, and we entered from this door and got out from the other door. And we went to the bush. Down Namugongo, there was a camp, which was supposed to. Then after that, we slept there for 2 days. On the 3rd day, we started our movement from here to Ngoma, passing through this all these areas of the other areas of this second school. No, not Kawe. Here, this one, Namugongo, this Chira, and all. It was a bush. It was not like this. There was nothing there until we crossed Bombo Road in the morning. We had boys like Kawaga. This Kawaga, General Kawaga, was one of us. Then with other boys who came to collect us. We crossed Bombo at around 5 in the morning. Then we went to our bushes, our areas. Then we went to General Kawaga's place where we found they had cooked for us breakfast. We took our breakfast and continued until we found Muzei and other people in Kanyara. That's why we found them on the 4th day. We found them there. He met us. He talked to us. They told us about the situation. We were very welcome to come and give a hand. Then we were deployed in 2 units. Then I was deployed into 3rd Battalion, which was commanded by Leto Barhona, deputized by Leto Rumumba. Then we stayed there. Then a few months later, we went to Amai first operation. When in 1983, when we attacked Masindi. That was my first big operation. After that, we attacked Masindi. Going to Masindi, we didn't have guns. They were called commandos to make noise. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, just to tell the other people that we are very many. But the guns were very few. So we succeeded in Masindi. That's why I got my first gun, which I recently handed over because it was getting loose. About last week, I handed it over to get a new gun. But that's the gun I've been with since that time. It was telling me the history of where I have come from. So that's why I had kept it for all that long. Then we continued up to today. Then after there, until we captured power. That's a long story. It's a long story. Up to when we captured power, and me in capturing power, I did not come to Kampala. We had reached Katonga through Mutiana. After capturing Mutiana and Mbende, when we reached Katonga, 5th Battalion, I was selected as a sergeant to go and command 21st Battalion, which was in Fort Potro. Then I took the other axis, the Fort Potro Hoima axis. Then I never came to Kampala. I came to Kampala later, after Kampala had failed and northern Uganda. Yes. The other story is big. Yes. Unforgettable experience is how I could not imagine. We moved from Ngoma, crossed to River Mayanja for the first time. For us, in where we were on foot, of course, there was nothing like a bicycle vehicle. On foot, passing through the bushes. The commander was Afande Sare. We crossed Mayanja. Then we went and hid after crossing Kafu. We stayed there for some time until it was dark. We left there running because it is very far. We had waited for dark. Then we left running from Kafu until where we were told in a place called Chijunjua. That's where we left our jerrycans, the jerrycans that we had for taking water. Kafu River, that's the water we were taking. Not boiling, not what, but we left all our jerrycans because they were making a noise. We left everything there. And we rushed from there. I think it's about 17 kilometers. Then we entered Masindi. And then that's where everybody, 3rd Battalion, 2nd Battalion, 5th Battalion, everybody entered for his part. Then we attacked early in the morning. And that's where I found my gun, I found somebody inside there. We came with him, we did not kill him. But we took away everything. Took the guns, took what he had, and then we came on foot until we crossed Kafu with all those equipments that we had charged from Masindi. Until we found, on the 3rd day, we found Muzei coming with civilians to come and help us to carry what we had charged. But that was the turning point. That was the turning point of the war. After that, and Hoima, That's when now we deployed the second axis when 11th and other people with General Rujema went to Western axis. First of all, I am very happy that I'm retiring. I want to tell everybody that it is not easy. It is easy to join, but to maintain and retire without going to prison, without dying with the army, without losing anything, as a person, I am really very happy, and I want to thank God and thank even the leadership that have maintained us with in good health, looked after us. If there is anything that UPDF has done, they have treated the soldiers, its soldiers, and their families. This is very, very, very important. The health is one of the human security that everybody needs in the whole world. And they have done that. They have treated our parents, they have treated our children, they have treated wananchi, and they have treated us. Even where we wanted to go outside the country to be treated there, there is nobody who have done it better than UPDF. So I want to thank them for that. I am very happy that I joined, I maintained, have now got out without any problem that I had in the army. Have never been arrested, for example. Have never been arrested, have never been what? So I'm very happy. I'm the happiest person that I have retired and went back home, where I will maintain the spirit of the movement and support them.
What are you?
I will, first of all, I will live and die a supporter of our ideology. That is very important. I will live and die a supporter of our ideology. Where we are there are some other people suffering. We are going to see, be part of the community. The community will come. They say, we want this, we want this, we want this. There is also a service just to advise people, but also do simple business to maintain our health, to maintain the way we are living, to maintain connections with UPDF and other people in the world, so that until the time will come when we shall be no more.
Your final message to those remaining
Serving here, I want to tell them that we have a culture, that we came from the people. For example, the civil-military cooperation is our core function that gave us power to liberate this country, that maintains us. CIMIC is the only tool that we have that other armies don't have. I want to urge them to maintain civil-military relations in any operation that they go to, be it international, be it national, even their own. Maintain civil-military relations. Maintain civil-military relations as a culture and as our secret weapon that we use to succeed in any battle that we have been to. Was built on nothing but other than giving morale to the soldiers and to give them hope that at one time we shall be in the government. And these ones were given through songs, through stories, through barazas. Sometimes which I'm seeing that it is dying away is self-criticism. Where would go to barazas and criticize even a commander. That commander, yesterday you harassed me when you were out and it was not necessary, and this one is dying away. And it was a very big medicine for our discipline. I wish it could be maintained back. People could take it and do it, and so that people are free to talk their mistakes, to talk about the mistakes of the commanders. For example, in Operation Suja, there may be some mistakes that commanders are committing, and even soldiers, even on the ground. This is what we used to sit down and discuss openly, so that everybody would be ashamed to do such a thing after that, talking about it. I wish we could maintain it in the future. It would help this army to grow and grow to whatever level we want it to grow. Yes.
Thank you so much.
First, before Liberation Day, nobody had a hope that they will have peace in this country. That nobody had a hope that they will ever have peace in this country. Two, other armies capture power because of guns, but for us we captured power because of the support of the people. In other words, it's the people that captured their own power and give it to UPDF. This is why, for example, before we come to Liberation Day, this is why we have Tarehe Sita, for example. We have Tarehe Sita. We call it Tarehe Sita because it is the day, the 6th day of February 1981, is the day when President Museveni attacked Kawamba and declared war on the government to liberate people. And the people joined. There were only 44 people with 27 guns that started to attack Kawamba. But from that time when he declared, everybody joined. Not even those ones that were fighting with guns, but people who were cooking food, people who were giving water, people who were surrendering their animals for us to eat. For example, the people of Ngoma, people who were the late Rutamaguzis, who were keeping, people were willing to die, but not to declare that President Museveni is here with us. You would rather kill them, but they maintained it for the liberation of the country, for everybody to be liberated. That is one. And that's why we said when we reached here, the High Command and the Army Council accepted to have Tarehe Sita, celebrate it every year, but to be the time when we give back to the people. That's why we build schools, that's why we build hospitals, that's why we treat them, that's why we do whatever, every systemic or activity to give back as a recognition to their contribution to the liberation of this country. Now, when we liberated the country on 21st, there was a total change. Everybody celebrated. I wish you could see those films, those videos, when the people were entering here. That's when people got hope. That's when you could ask any Ugandan, you could say, you know what? We have been liberated. It is over. This is over. That's where everybody started. All these people you are seeing, they are talking about abusing the president, abusing the army, slapping them, wananchi doing what? It's because of that hope. Even I hear, even these oppositions, sometimes when they are going to demonstrate, they first ask, let's first know whether this man, the president, is in the country. If he's not in the country, we may die. But let us first ask. So that hope that they have within that person as an individual is very important. And if wananchi can have that interest within us and the government, then there is no any other liberation other than the thinking of the people.
Then instead,
That we have been everywhere, but we have not been in Rusoga. First of all, the oppositions had taken Rusoga, where ADF has been recruiting. Our own mistakes of our forces, for example, that went into these fishing areas, they made some mistakes, maybe overpunished. They overpunished our people. This is all. First of all, we are going to correct the mistakes of our own forces. This is the most important thing. Before you give out, first correct your mistakes. This is what every UPDF should do. Correct the mistakes, correct our methods of work. If we have done wrong, we should go there and apologize. That we have done bad, we are sorry, but this is not our way of doing things. We do it this way. That's one. Two, ADF took it advantage, like the Muslims, that they are not part of this government and what. But now people have started to realize, and some recruits are coming back to Busoga. So we want to go and actually join them, giving them a hand. Do this. The way we are entering Busoga, we shall not leave it the way it is. Already they feel us on the ground, the way they saw us. It is very important that we are going to give them a hand and show that they are part of us. Nobody should ever tell them that they are not they are not part of us. So it is very important to go to Busoga, mobilize them, sensitize them, give them a hand in engineering works, give them a hand in medical outreach, give them a hand, we clean together their towns, plant trees, do whatever we are doing, we come back, and the history will tell that we are not the same.